All right, cool.
I've been assuming you were recording that for off-the-cuff conversation.
I used to do that, but every once in a while somebody would say something mildly incriminating.
Oh.
It's like...
Well, that's why you need to do it.
Just as you have to come back now, because guess what I have on tape? All right, that's good. That sounds good.
I have the evidence.
Hey, everybody. This week we have Jason Pickar with us. Thank you for being here, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Did I just scream into the mic? I might have. So this is awesome because we haven't talked about Emo Phillips except for once.
Okay.
With Jonah Ray.
Ooh.
And E equals MO squared, which is just a fucking phenomenal album. And I listened to it for the first time for Jonah, but I like getting the opportunity to re-listen. And
I love that you have the record because I've never even seen or held the record before. For $2.76.
Yeah, right. So good.
This is amazing.
Record surplus, man.
Yeah, no, the version I had, my brother graduated from high school in 97.
Okay.
I was in 7th grade at the time.
Okay.
And I was going through his pile of graduation gifts. He had all these useless graduation gifts.
Uh-huh.
And, I was a little brother, being bratty, looking through.
Sure.
And I found this tape that a friend of his had just created. He copied a mixtape of Emo Phillips, E equals MO squared. And I was like, oh, what's this? And I grabbed the tape, and I don't even know if my brother got a chance to listen to it once. That's my tape. It is mine. And it wasn't even just E equals MO squared. It was E equals MO squared, and then there was a little bit of tape at the end, so the guy decided to add some extra songs, like Shaggy's cover of Summertime.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was great.
Shit.
It's great.
That was 1997.
No, it was 97, absolutely.
That's amazing.
Pinpoint it. So, Emo Phillips, he'd be like, okay, thank you, and everyone's clapping, and then well, in the summertime where the weather is fine. Yeah, it's great. Oh my god, I love this. This is Einstein drawing.
It's amazing.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
This is so cool.
This is one thing that you kind of people. I'm a fucking, I hate to say broken record, but I am a broken record on this. You do miss the art. It doesn't in any way. It doesn't take away from the brilliant shit that you're listening to, but it does enhance it when you do have it a little bit, anyway.
It's nice to hold it. I mean, my generation wasn't really a record generation. But I'm working at this company right now. They have a record player, and they have a whole bunch of records. They've got Nirvana, they've got Beastie Boys, and it's so cool to just be able to just listen.
Throw it on there, yeah.
And then less than half an hour later, stand up and flip it.
If nothing else, it's exercise. It makes you work for the fucking comedy.
I could use the exercise.
Couldn't we all?
Yeah.
Do you? All right. So, what was the first comedy album you ever listened to, though?
Ooh.
Yeah.
I mean, I was a huge fan of Weird Al as a kid.
Yeah.
To the point where, I do stand-up and hip-hop. I do both. I rap under the name Chosen.
Nice.
And my first kind of introduction to actual rap, not like Criss Cross and MC Hammer and, that real over-the-top stuff, was Weird Al Yankovic's. He had some rap songs in his various polkas.
Yeah.
And that's how I learned the words to the Humpty Dance. That is the first time I heard the Humpty Dance was in Weird Al's polka.
Amazing.
And I was I remember distinctly, I must have been, 11 or so, and I was at the mall with my family getting some food at the food court. I'm waiting in line for the Chinese food, and the guy in front of me, he's singing the Humpty Dance to himself, and I was a kid, and this he seemed like a menacing figure,
sure.
And he was just he's singing to himself. He's the Humpty Dance is a chance to do the hump, and then me as a little kid, I'm just fuck it, I'm do me baby, do the Humpty Hump, and he turns around with this look on his eyes, how does this kid even know? Right. How does he know? This kid is so much cooler than I thought he was.
Shit.
When in reality, it was Weird Al Yankovic who taught me that.
Maybe Weird Al secretly did that just to fuck with kids,
No, probably.
It's just, here's you're gonna pay the price for listening to my.
But yeah, I grew up on Weird Al.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know most people know Emo Phillips because he was in UHF.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't even know I hadn't even seen UHF when I first picked up this tape. I didn't even know that Weird Al and Emo Phillips were in any way like affiliated.
Yeah, he's one of I think on UHF might have been the first place that I saw Emo Phillips, to the point where like I didn't know what he was.
Yeah,
I was like, was that a thing he did for this movie? Was it but and eventually I realized he was a stand-up. But so your exposure was Weird Al first. Like how shocking was this to you? At
oh
that
my
age?
God! I mean, well, when I first heard. I put this tape in, and you hear this stand-up start, and I'm like, oh, okay. And at that point, like, most of the stand-up I'd seen or heard, it was Comedy Central stuff. It was Eddie Murphy, Robin Williams, that the bigger stuff, and their stand-up is always, like, high energy and jokes.
Sure, yeah.
And high energy and jokes. Seinfeld, well, what's the deal with, like... And he's talking about himself and telling true stories.
Yeah.
And Emo Phillips takes that and just throws all of it out the window.
It's true.
Like, he takes your expectations for what you think he's going to say and then just says, no, fuck you, I'm just joking.
Right.
Everything I'm saying is a joke right now.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. Like, at one point, I know he says... like, you always expect it to be so fast-paced and talking, and he comes out, and he's just, like, talking and modulating up and down and talking and taking his time, because he knows he'll get the laugh eventually.
Yeah.
And, he's like, Emo, people come up to me and say, Emo, do people really come up to you? I don't know. And it's just like, first of all, he's mocking all of stand-up and all of that tradition of what you expect. And then he's just, and as a 13-year-old kid, like, this is blowing my mind. It was the craziest thing I'd ever heard. I took that tape, and I would be over at my buddy's place, and he'd want to play Final Fantasy VII, which, by the way, not cool when you have a friend over and you want to play a one-player game.
Right.
But I'd be like, fine, then we're listening to this, and then he wouldn't be listening, and I'd be rewinding to make sure he heard. I was walking down the street and something caught my eye and dragged it 15 feet. Like, it's just. I was obsessed with it, listening to it constantly.
Yeah.
Like, to an unhealthy level. Like, every night when I go to sleep, just, like, listening, it was amazing.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those things. I did talk to a guy named Adam Lissagore who used to listen to a local comedy station when they actually had a comedy station here. And that's what he would listen to when he fell asleep. I always wondered how much that affected him subconsciously, because he doesn't do comedy, but he's one of the funniest people I've ever met. So it's always,
cool.
It's like one of those things where you wonder, like, that shit's going on while you're dreaming.
Well, the thing is, I mean, you know how when you're in first grade and you fill out a little form, like, oh, my favorite food is, and I had, like, Cheerios, and I don't know how I knew in first grade that this is something that I was interested in, but it said, when I grow up, I want to be, and I wrote stand-up comedian.
Jesus.
And I have no idea, like, how does a 6-year-old know what a stand-up, it's got to be, I saw it in some cartoon, or I saw it in something.
Right.
We're like, I don't know. So it's always just been a part of me.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and so it's definitely not like one causing the other, but it probably did mess with my mind.
Definitely, no, I had to. It's like interesting that you say that too, because the way you were describing, the way he's just playing with what comedy could be, because it's in a lot of ways a continuation of what Steve Martin had stopped just a couple years before. Because all of Steve Martin shit was the same concept, just not executed in nearly this strange
such a
way.
Weird,
you know what I mean?
You don't expect, like, look at his face. I didn't, like, that's the other thing, is I knew he sounded weird, but this was like a Memorex copy of, there was no picture of the guy. And I wasn't going on Lycos to go check and see, or Excite.com to see what Emo Phillips looks like.
Yeah.
It's just, it's crazy.
When did you first see what he looked like then? And were you surprised?
Probably I was watching UHF and I was like, oh, I heard that Emo Phillips is in this. I wasn't too surprised. He's weird sounding, so he doesn't. He's still. I can't remember if he still has this haircut. He chopped it off for a little while. I met him a few months back. I'm trying to remember what his hair looked like.
Yeah.
And I can't remember for the life of me, which tells me he probably didn't still have this bowl haircut.
I've never seen the man in person or seen like an interview with him where he's not being Emo Phillips.
He is absolutely. That's who he is.
That's mind-blowing.
Talking to him. I mean, you experience it a lot in, when you're talking to stand-ups after shows and things like that, where you're like, oh, like, this guy really is, as awkward, not to the nth degree that he was.
Sure.
But he's is who he is on stage. And he was, a friend of mine was throwing the Class of Chicago Fest. It was all great Chicago comedians.
Okay.
Carl Kozlowski at RadioTitans.com, who you should talk to about the Emo Phillips being on here. And he was screening a movie that he had shot in the early 90s.
Okay.
Just this weird movie. I can't remember if he was playing the flute or the cowbell in the movie. It was just weird, and it was emo. And then I saw him afterwards, and he's just the sweetest guy.
I bet, yeah.
So nice. And I had to tell him that, I admitted to him that I'd been listening to a pirated copy of his comedy for years and years and years, and he was fine with it.
Sure.
So I'm like, great, okay.
Yeah.
No, I don't know, I don't even know what to say about the man. I bet. Well, I mean, you didn't have a whole lot of time to sit down and talk with him. No, it was outside after a show, me being like, oh, no. I love you, Emo!
I met Gene Wilder once and I didn't know what to fucking say.
Yeah.
I misspoke. So, I mean, what could I say about the guy that I didn't already think? I already know what he means to me.
Right,
exactly. So it's like, what the fuck? What's interesting, too, is, and I wonder, maybe when you got started out in comedy, did you ever get the advice in where people would... Because, I got to watch some of your stuff, and you actually do get quite... Not crazy personal, but I mean, it does come from a personal place where some people can do a character like this.
Right.
It feels like either nobody ever gave him the advice to use who you are.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? And he's like, or somebody did, he said, fuck it. And, just said, I don't want to do that.
That's what it is, because, everyone is coming from a place within themselves. Even, Gallagher at the time was smashing watermelons, but that was Gallagher.
Yeah.
That's who Gallagher was.
Right.
And Emo is sitting there, and he'll contradict himself from one joke to another.
Yeah.
He'll say, at one point he'll talk about how he doesn't want to get married, and then later he'll talk about how he proposed to a girl.
Right.
He'll talk about how his when he grew up, his parents always told him to stay away from the cellar door and stay away from the cellar door. And when he finally found it and finally walked out, he saw beautiful things he'd never seen before, like trees and the sun. The sun was nice. He'd say that, and then later he'd talk about how, he grew up, he was born in Chicago, Illinois. When he was 2, his parents moved to Downers Grove, and when he was 10, he found them.
Right.
Or, when he was, he'd always remember, I don't remember if this is on E = MO squared or a different album, but he has another great joke that I love, where he says, I always love something along the lines, if I'm bastardizing it now, because this is from memory.
Sure.
But I always loved the sight of the first snowflake as it fell from the sky. And I would always run to the front door and say, Mommy, look, it's snowing. You have to let me in now. And it's just is he trapped in the cellar for his childhood, or is he?
I love it.
Is he outside forever for his childhood?
And it doesn't
matter.
Who? A few people actually have come on recently wanted to talk about Rodney Dangerfield.
Sure.
And I wouldn't normally compare the two, except that it is just joke after joke after joke after joke, based on a kind of a basic character trait, where Rodney Dangerfield he's just this dirty stand-up. He's just this guy who deals with whores and a wife that he hates. And stupid kids, and he's
which, by the way, my
insane.
dad would really love me to talk. Not the horse part, but he has given me the advice of like, oh, Jack Benny he talked about his wife. Why don't you talk about? And I'm like, I don't even have a girlfriend.
Right.
How am I going to talk about my wife?
Yeah. And I just don't know where he pulls this from. But again, it's not rapid fire, but it is nonstop.
Yes.
At no point does he give in or
all of his pauses.
Yes, right.
Every single moment he takes between, you always hear the titter of laughter. And I mean, I don't know where this was recorded. It sounds like there were, I don't know, 30 people in the room,
yeah,
20 people
very
in
small,
the room.
yeah.
Like, it is not. And that's the other thing. Is like, I was used to these big productions
Of
and
course.
these big shows.
Sure.
And this, like, you hear every audio edit. Like you hear huge laughter, and then it just goes into, like, him starting a new joke, you know? I don't know what... Sorry.
No.
I'm lost in the moment.
That's fine.
And then he's doing his stand-up, and then he does a song.
Yes.
And then he does a song that he supposedly entered into... and got 5th place at the local Downers Grove. And it's just... I mean, as a guy who does comedy and music, much like that's the Weird Al influence on me.
Sure.
I mean, that's emo too, because that told me you're allowed to do that. You can just say, hey... Do you want to hear a song? Do you want to hear a poem that I wrote?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Do you want to... his tribute to Elvis? Thanks, Elvis. Like, that's so stupid. But I love it.
Yeah. It's oh my god, and it's very kind of Dada as far as stand-up goes, and for 85...
Was that 85?
I think so, yeah. And the other weird thing that weirded me out is he's only done 3 albums over his whole career. 85, 87, and then I think 2010.
Right, yeah.
What the fuck? And I don't know what his comedy's like now. I mean, did you get to see him perform?
I don't think he's... I saw him... They showed this movie.
Showed the movie, yeah.
They just showed the movie.
Yeah.
I'm not... I don't know how much comedy he's doing.
Right.
I don't know how much he wants to be kind of known or like he obviously anyone would appreciate a fan, especially after all these years.
Sure.
But I'm not sure that's like what he's necessarily worried about or thinking about right now.
Probably not. Yeah, I mean that's a good point. Do you he's a guy who I obviously have no idea how he found his character or how he found his voice, but for a guy who doesn't have, and most people don't, have this kind of a character on stage, what's the process like for finding what it is in you that is worth kind of amplifying? You know what I mean? To turn into something. Right.
I mean,
if not that.
That's... it's all slow growth and practice is all that is. I mean, it comes down to the first time I ever did stand-up, I was at an open mic in New York, and you pick your number, and I got 50. Which meant that I went up like right before 3 a.m. on a Monday night.
Oh my God.
And the only people left were like the dude who ran the open mic, which was more of a music open mic than a comedy open mic. And then this like just black transvestite who was there, and or transgendered individual or whatever the appropriate term is. And I went up there and I did the comedy that I thought would be great, and I got one response to one joke. Not a laugh, but I got kind of like, oh, or you know what I mean? Like, and I was like, okay, all right, I can grow from that. And so the next performance, you go and you see, and you say something, and you see what the response is, and then you keep, it's like doing a personal just market research every time you go up on stage.
Yeah.
And then eventually it gets to the point where you just get comfortable with whatever you say. You're pretty sure you can pull something out where if you get into a tough spot, you always got something in your back pocket to get the laugh that you need.
Sure.
And then it's just, okay, well, if I have that, then it's more free, and you can really just, like, talk about whatever you want, especially in a good, like, I have a great open mic that I go to every Monday, or not every Monday, but Mondays. And it's just like in the back room of Mom's Bar in Santa Monica, and it's just like super friendly, and there's free ice cream, and
That's awesome.
comedians listening to other people's comedy and enjoying it.
Oh,
and
okay,
a few
so
bar
not
patrons.
Speaking in 1997. Sorry, I don't know if anybody can hear that. Anyway.
Hey, I love a good car riding by with the bass bumping.
It's always great.
Yeah. That's LA.
Yeah, no, it really is. Do you when you listen to something like this, does it make you jealous as to how, not just, I mean, it's obviously comedy that influenced you, so you're going to love that, but how polished it is to the point where, like, the word choice is so beautiful, and you know what I mean? Like, do you ever, I mean, is that something you shoot for, or are you more for, like, well, this came out the right way out of me, it wasn't necessarily word choice, it was just the right joke at the right time?
Well, you know, I try and keep track of, well, it's interesting you asked that, because I do stand-up and hip-hop.
Sure, yeah.
And in hip-hop, it is absolutely the specific word choice with the specific rhythm, and that's practice over and over. Like, when I have a rhyme that I'm doing, like, I'll be riding in my car just constantly over and over repeating to get that rhythm right.
Okay.
And then with my stand-up, you know, I come off very casual. Like, I some people write everything that they're going to say, which is a way to go.
Sure.
I'm better if I just know what topic and the general thesis of the joke that I want to talk about.
Okay.
And then after I've done it in a few small rooms and found the right way to say that joke, I lock it in, and then I just hold it there, and it stays the same right.
Okay.
But yeah, it is interesting how polished he is, especially when he seems so unpolished.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I mean, his story about, you know, the riddle. I loved that. When I went around asking people that question. I went around telling people that joke. And if it got a laugh, I'd be like, okay, but that's not my joke. This guy Emo Phillips.
Sure.
Like, I'd be citing my sources. You can check the bibliography.
That's better than most people do. You know, Rosie O'Donnell won an early stand-up contest by doing Jerry Seinfeld's act, right?
Really?
She was super young, and she went to, like, a local stand-up, and she just did it and pretended it was her act.
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
and
she's
you could
admitted
get
it.
away with that back then.
Yeah, 100%. Isn't that amazing?
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
It's, you know, what's really funny is I did a pilot this is a few years back. Nothing ever happened with this. But someone decided that it would be a good idea to get comedians and have them do other comedians' jokes as if it was karaoke. And they called it Jokeroke.
Oh my God.
Jokeroke or Joe Karaoke. I don't know exactly how it's pronounced. I think it was Jokeroke.
Okay.
And so I show up to this thing, and it was a friend of a friend who was like, we need comedians for this thing. And I was like, okay, fine.
Sure.
Yeah. And so I go to this Jokeroke thing, and they explain what it is, and I'm sitting there, and I'm just like, they have these binders with bits that you're allowed to do that they want to see if you can do. The same way you have a book of songs. And so I was like, please let there be Emo Phillips and Mitch Hedberg. Sure. Please let there be Emo Phillips and Mitch Hedberg. Please let there be Emo Phillips and Mitch Hedberg. And sure enough, there was an Emo Phillips joke and there was a Mitch Hedberg joke. And I went in and I started with the Emo Phillips, and they were really extremely surprised because no one really pulls out the Emo Phillips.
Sure. Yeah.
That's a bit of an unexpected move.
Yeah.
And especially, I mean, I talk like this, but when when you're telling an Emo Phillips joke, in general, you should try and say it the same way that he would say it.
Of course. Yeah.
And I think it was it wasn't. I think it was off Hasty Comedy Pudding Club or whatever.
Yes. Yeah.
But it was. I was talking to my sister's husband. He's German. You know, I'm not getting the exact words right. My sister's husband is German. We're eating breakfast, and he said, Emo, we can't get bagels like this in Germany. And I said, well, whose fault is that? And it's just like, I mean, you're a different person. It's like some sort of weird alien trying to be human and not quite getting it.
Right.
But completely getting it in every way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to know how you discovered that's in you, though. Like, I want to know what it was. Obviously, I want to get him on the show and ask him. Yeah, I just want to know what the fuck he was pulling out of himself that needed to come out. Where, like, if you watch, like, you're talking about Eddie Murphy earlier. If you watch Eddie Murphy, it's clear who that guy was.
Yes.
He tells you who he was. He was a poor kid growing up in the ghetto who made good, is wearing this leather suit. But, hey, by the way, I don't mind telling you about my piece of shit father. I don't mind telling like, I was clearly, like, at least, if not abused, treated like garbage by my stupid piece of shit father. Which comes up so much. Like, there's so much of, like, he does this impression of his dad that's just like, oh, man, you're harboring. Not even harboring. You're letting it come out. Like, you know where that comes from. When somebody doesn't talk about who they are.
Well, I mean, he doesn't talk about who he is, but he does in what he chooses to talk about.
Sure.
Like, he talks about going to see the school psychologist, right?
Yes, right.
And it's a really twisted mind that comes up with the setup for a joke being a psychologist is secretly testing the child's mental state with a chocolate bunny and explaining, oh, the ears are normal, and this is the feet are this, and the tail's that, and whatever. And then he pulls out, biting out the eyes and screaming, "Stop staring at me!" Like, that comes from a twisted mind.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know.
Do you ever find I mean, that's one thing. Like, a lot of it's super dark, but doesn't come off as dark because he's so goofy. I mean, do you find yourself struggling ever with, I don't know how dark you get, but struggling with making that accessible? I mean, your own darkness?
I don't go dark on stage, really.
No?
I'm not really a dark, not really. Like, that's when you talk about, like, I haven't found the comedy in the dark yet.
Okay.
Emo found it. And it's there, obviously, because that's what most of sitcom humor is in the first place.
Sure.
But, you know, I've seen too many comedians go up and treat it like therapy.
Oh, sure. Oh,
And it is therapy because it makes you feel really good.
Of course.
And it gives you an adrenaline rush. And it lets you say stuff that you want to get off your mind. You know, I mean, I guess I go a little dark when I talk about, like, To Catch a Predator stuff. But, you know, it's, like, harder to joke about that.
For sure.
That's, like, I don't know, it's funny to joke about it. My rabbi was caught on To Catch a Predator. But, like, at some point it just turns into, like, that's like a guy. And, like, he's paid his dues and he's moving on with his life. And so, you know, I sometimes hesitate to even bring that out. Just because, like, I don't know. I'm a bit of a comedy hippie, I guess. Like, I like, you know, like, positive vibes.
No, that's good.
Happy.
That's strong. A lot of people can't do that, and they might want to, but they're fighting themselves not to be that way. You know, where if you've got, again, like, if you try so hard to be darker or so self-unaware that you're just doing, like you said, the therapy shit.
Right.
I don't know. I think it might be a little harder to be positive.
Yeah.
On stage.
No, definitely.
Especially somebody who's got who likes and has a hip hop background.
Yes, exactly. And I mean, you can get a little more serious with the hip hop, but then, you know, it's. I feel like hip hop always has punchlines in its tradition.
Sure.
And comedy and hip hop to me make a lot of sense, especially in just the way that, you know, as they're both something I do, therefore it makes sense as a combination for me.
Of course.
You know, but it is, you know, people want that comedy. Like, people always love a good punchline in hip hop. You know, the kind of thing that makes you go, whoa, you know?
Right, yeah.
And those are the things that you remember and you want to hear again, you know? And it's nice. And I've been trying to kind of, I'm in the middle of recording an album. I'm slowly doing it. And I was in this Power 106 competition where it was from hundreds of songs, and then it was straight up March Madness. Went 64 to 32 and 32 to 16 to 8 to 4, and I ended up in 2nd, which felt like great.
Yeah.
You know, because with my stupid song about how I'd be happy to grab rain, but I can't make it rain because I don't have that much money. Grabbinrain.com if you want to give it a listen. Grabbinrain.com.
Awesome.
But the fact that, well, I had so many Facebook friends who were willing to vote for me every day. Very helpful.
Yeah.
And some people who every day they would like message me and be like, I voted today, and I'd be like, thank you, you're the best. Go tell some people to vote for me.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I ended up against a guy who had like 230,000 Vine followers.
Jesus.
I just couldn't fight with that.
Yeah.
But you know, it's nice to have had a little bit of success and just keep trying to push it forward and see what I can do with hip hop on its own outside of just the comedy.
Yeah.
You know, it's really nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
No, that's amazing. And actually, I don't have a hip hop listening background of any kind that much. I grew up in upstate New York, so wasn't really a big thing. Are you from New York?
I'm from Maryland, actually.
Oh, you're from Maryland.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm from Maryland. I'm from Rockville, just north of Washington, D.C.
All right.
And I grew up. I had heard some of the hip hop. We talked about the Weird Al,
sure,
and the MC Hammer and Vanilla Ice and Criss Cross.
Naturally.
But I think like my first like real hip hop listening was in 10th grade. I had heard It's Tricky.
Sure.
From Run DMC.
Yeah.
I think I saw it in Road Trip or something like that.
Okay, all right.
And my buddy Alex Mazer, who does some hilarious Snapchats where he's a hair talk show. It's amazing. It's called Hair Talk. But look it up on Instagram if you can find it. But he made me this mixtape of just all these old school hip hop songs, or mixed CD.
Okay.
Tribe Called Quest, De La Soul, Peas Porridge, and even just like more random shit like there was this one track called Hip Hopera with there was the Fugees and Bounty Killer, and it was, oh my god. And just like, I don't know, I started listening to that, feeling that more and more, and then I started like every once in a while I'd write a rap, but I wouldn't necessarily show it to anyone or tell anyone about it. Or like at the end of a trip I was on, I wrote a kind of a joke rap for everyone about like everything that had happened.
Nice. Okay.
When Lazy Sunday came out, I wrote I was in college at the time. I wrote a response to that based on my college town. Of course. I didn't record it, but I wrote it.
It's like your diary. Rap was your diary for a bit.
Seriously. It still is. Like, you know, I'm able to, I mean, I don't know, so, like, sometimes sucky stuff happens. Sure. And it's nice to be able to talk about it. Like, I have this one track, I don't often do it, but it's, you have every rapper has a song about ladies.
Sure, naturally.
And I'll tell the full story. This guy, I was on the rooftop of my apartment building rapping, as I normally do at this party. Okay. And when I was in New York, that was like my main stage, was like rooftop weekends. Awesome. Like crowd, just people, like everyone in the apartment would invite friends over and we'd be barbecuing. That's and I had a boombox. And that's awesome. And so he comes up to me. I did one of my, like, I had a couple raps at that point. They were much more comedy heavy. This guy comes up to me and he's like, hey man, let me play a beat for you. And he plays a beat and I'm like, oh, this is pretty good. He's like, yeah, so let me hear something about like a dirty bitch. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, like a dirty hoe. Just like, let me hear, just lay it out. And I'm just like, I don't have what? I don't have what? So, and then the chorus starts playing of this beat that he had, and the chorus is literally, bitch, she's a bitch, a fucking bitch, she's a bitch, bitch, she's a bitch. And I'm just like, I didn't have anything for that guy. But the next morning I woke up and I was on the roof again in the sun, and I ended up writing a story, not about a bitch necessarily. I wrote about how I don't like the term BFF, because all ladies want to be my BFF but don't want to date me. That was more of an early 20s problem. I've solved that one.
Sure.
But then in the second verse, which I almost never do, I talk about this ex-girlfriend who I had gone up to Toronto, and you know, like, we went out, I took her out on like a pretty expensive date, like, you know, it was like a $200 dinner, Canadian, but still, it was like, I don't know, 170, 170, it was like expensive, it was like,
entirely
it was like artistic food, and I wanted to check out that kind of food,
naturally,
and I was like, yeah, and I'm in town, and I can bring her out, and then we'll go back to her place, and what ends up happening is, we're making out, and then she starts crying, and then she tells me that this is reminding her of when she was molested when she was 3 years old.
Oh, Jesus.
And so, like, as a guy to hear that, that's like, that's tough on many levels. And so, and then I hugged her all night, and then I left in the morning, and nothing happened, obviously, because that's a mood killer. But that's something I can talk about in my hip hop. Wow, that was a long train ride to get back to that. Where I'll just do it. Let me see if I can remember the words real quick. I'll just do it. I don't do this one often. I have other tracks. This is an older one. Okay, hold on. Will you cut out this time when I'm just like thinking of? No. No. Okay. All right.
It's too much work for me. I don't get paid for this shit. It's your work. You better. No. I got it. Hold on. What I need is the beat. You need a beat. Okay, that's fine. Well,
I'm gonna put the beat on my phone because
it's amazing. No one's ever done this. I need
some sense memory.
Well, what I will say is what I was saying earlier while you're pulling that up is I've never drawn the direct association between the build up, the setup, and the punchline, and the way hip hop does build to those moments. You know, and
they're very similar.
That actually instantly gave me a new appreciation for hip hop, even though I don't necessarily relate to all the hip hop people were listening to when I was first hearing it.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, the first shit that ever attracted me was like the lame shit that white people always listen to, which was
the Vanilla Ice and Crisscross.
But even before that, though, was like Rappers Delight and shit. Like, that stuff.
Which also, when I remember, you know what I mean? I did that at karaoke in like 12th grade.
Was karaoke or Jokeroki?
No, this was karaoke. I love me some good karaoke. That's why I felt Jokeroki was an appropriate match.
No, naturally. Here we go.
Hold on. But see, the tough part is I'm skipping ahead to the second verse.
Right. Just do an Emo Phillips song for the first bit for the first part.
You know what? I'm just gonna do both verses.
All right.
That's all I can think. I have better songs though, man. No, I don't want this to represent me. I don't want that to represent me.
All right. Do you want to do another one, or do you want me to put a clip in? All right.
Oh yeah, put some emo on.
I always put a clip. I cut clips into the show.
Oh, okay.
But we never play them during.
I can do some live. I like doing live performance.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. This is my single. It's called Grab and Rain.
All right. Good.
I wonder if it's picking it up.
Let me hear how it sounds.
I wanna kill it making money. Kids' inheritance won't ever end. That's Goodwill Hunting. Even though I'm no Matt Dane and got no children yet, I'm hoping to be Raymond. Syndication, add some dollars to the bottom of your statement. Wanna be like Mike, not Jordan, Mike, and Molly. Oh, I'll never try that. If you got some, would you call me Wally with the ladies? Garbage Pickar seeking Eve. The beard is wizard, baby. Ain't no tricks up my sleeve. Words turning you ward. You're like and see. The joke is Game of Thrones, so you know this ain't the dynasty. No rivalry. I'm just me. Though when my hangovers in Vegas, I'm a faking. That's just fine with me, so give it up for Zach G. Elephant paving the way, and now today I got this. Woke up from my nap, and I have to find where cash is, not clay. Someday I'll be grabbing the rain. If it's so easy, where is my money? I'll let the chorus play it out. Go through, you know, there's some jokes, there's some rhymes. coming out of nowhere, don't know where to begin. You want a little drizzle? I'm not Storm from the X-Men, whether making it like Grisham or if I'm the man like Dustin. There's no metaphor suited for how my dented ass is busting. Cuts and poker on the joker on the side of plots of bluffing. Having me for dinner, I'm no turkey, I'll be stuffing. Cute like I'm a puffin. Surreal, I'm no MacGuffin. Never bite, I ain't McGruffin. Leave a mark on you like scuffing. Nothing in my way, I'm slowly clearing a path. May not be singing in the rain, but I can still make them laugh. I craft raps on my bad back with the last track in mind. Get your hands up in the air like there's some rain in the sky. Yeah. That's the vibe I like to give off.
No, I love it. And that's what is interesting though is that you got me thinking. Is that when you're rapping,
I syncopate up and down.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But there's also when we talk about voice in comedy, we're only talking about, again, like word choice. We're talking about rhythm. We're talking about if we pick a character. We're talking about perspective, point of view, which is all important in rap. But you literally do a different voice when you're rapping. You're a different sounding voice, and you do it different types of. But I mean, does that come out just like on its own?
Well, the thing is that I want it to sound like it sounds in my head.
Okay. Yeah.
And in order for it to sound in my head, to sound like it sounds, then I need to feel the music, and I gotta get in there running. Like right now we're talking, and this is the natural rhythm to my voice. Sure. But I really enjoy those little like the she sells moments, of just like trying to put together rhymes that interest me. I get rhythms in my head, and then I write words to the rhythm.
Yeah.
And it is a different voice, a little bit.
Yeah.
It's still my voice.
Of course,
it's 100% me.
Yeah.
But it comes down to, if the same way when you sing, your voice isn't going to sound exactly the same.
Of course. Yeah.
And I'm a terrible singer. I mean, I did plays when I was a kid, right? And like that's what got me into improv, which is what got me into et cetera, et cetera.
Sure.
But I did plays. We did musicals, right? Because that's what you do when you're in middle school. It's
naturally
all middles, and I did like acting camp in the summers. And I would never. I was always the character who didn't get a song, or the no, because I still got to be a character.
Okay.
But I'm not singing, or like we did with quite a bit cut out. We did a version of The Who's Tommy, and
oh my God.
There was quite a bit cut out.
I bet.
Well, first my main song was cut out. I played Uncle Ernie.
Jesus Christ.
I really tried very hard to rally and try and get the directors of the camp, JJ and Dinesh. I tried to convince them that they should let me sing it, but be a really bad violin player. And it's okay to play the violin badly because Tommy can't see or hear it. Which did not. The song just got cut. But Tommy's Holiday Camp was a song, but they felt comfortable letting me sing it because I essentially kid rapped it. It's a rap.
Yeah.
When you can't sing it.
Right. That's fucking funny.
The Brother Ali is a hip hop artist I like a lot, and he says, "I don't rap, I sing off key."
Yeah.
One thing you can never do is diss Ali. Like it's that's what it is, and it is off key, and it is like, I'm trying to bring a certain melodic nature to my voice, which is there when I'm talking. I'm up and down and this and that, but it's just everything's crammed in there. And it is, talking about it now, like the way my voice does go up and down, like it is a little emo-esque.
Oh yeah, and it's very deliberate on his part to find that though within. Again, that's what you have to do to rap. I mean, you don't have to do much with your voice when you're doing stand-up. I don't imagine.
No,
it's you talking.
Yeah,
you have to do much more with
I just got to think about timing when I'm on the stage.
Yeah. Whereas you do get to play around more hip-hop wise with I don't want to say a character, because that seems like I'm kind of trying to diminish it, which I'm not.
Right. Well, no, I mean, there's a reason why you take a separate name, right?
Sure.
I rhyme under the name Chosen, which, by the way, not spelled like the current cartoon on the FX network.
Yes.
They spelled Chozen. I spelled Chozinn. I've been rapping under that name since 2007. So I'm not changing because some show came out.
Right.
And it gives me hip-hop beef in the comedy world.
Certainly does.
Because Bobby Moynihan, I'm calling you out, man. Like, does anyone out there know Bobby Moynihan? Because if you know Bobby Moynihan, please inform him that we have official hip-hop beef.
I'll email Scott Ackerman and tell him.
No, yeah, please. No, seriously. No, please let him know. Because we have beef. We have beef hamburgers, beef and broccoli. Like,
that's great.
There is beef between me and Bobby Moynihan, and he doesn't know
He doesn't have any
He's
idea.
not aware of it. And, like, I don't hate the guy. I take a paycheck, too. But, like, you know, I should be writing the raps for that show. They took my name.
All right, that's the next episode. You two can face off. That would be amazing. Holy shit! Because I'm sure he would love it.
Yeah. Oh, he's totally down. Bobby, he'll just. Oh yeah, sure. Come on out to Burbank.
Oh my god.
We'll get some Big Mamas and Papas pizza.
Yeah, there you go.
Big Mamas and Papas, official pizza of the Oscars.
That's funny. That's right. Oh,
yeah,
crap.
you live right by Oscar Pizza.
Yeah, apparently. Look at me.
Yeah,
that is a
fancy land.
That is a big slice. I'm sorry, that box is massive. Was the slice as big as that box?
The slice was exactly the size of this box.
That's frightening.
Have you never had a slice at Big Mamas?
I've had
and
their
Papas?
pizza, but I don't recall ever having a slice that fucking big.
When you buy a slice from Big Mamas and Papas, it is this size. Now, if you're listening in the DC area, imagine a slice, like a super slice, or a slice from Boboli in the Adams Morgan area.
All right.
That was for your listeners.
Sure, no, I understand.
I'm not sure if
my sister's in that area right now.
Oh yeah,
so maybe she knows what I'm talking about.
She might know super slice. When you're drunk and Adams Morgan, you get these huge 2-plate slices of pizza, and that's exactly what this is, and it's just a gigantic.
It is massive.
But this isn't even like from their biggest pizza. You know, they have a contest where it's
yeah.
You know, if you can eat like a 54-inch pizza with 7 other people or something like that in under 2 hours, then I don't know.
I think you get the pizza for free. You have to pay for the pizza ahead of time. But then they pay you back for the pizza, and then you get plus like some amount of money that will never cover the fucking gastrointestinal bills that you're gonna have to deal with.
I've tried a couple of these things. I tried a kilo burger and failed one bite away. That's 2.2 pounds.
Oh my god.
Failed one bite, literally one bite away.
Sucks.
It came out like it was a meat grinder. Went right back into the pan I was eating it out of. And then I tried in college. I tried to eat a 72-ounce steak, and I only made it 58.5 ounces. It was a very good steak. And, by the way, a $50 steak, which, if you're going to spend $50 on the steak, it better be 72.5 ounces.
Sure. Holy God.
But I failed at both of those. There's no way I could do this pizza.
Yeah, right,
I'm not, you know, when you're young, you think you're invincible. You think the world's your oyster. When you get to be my age, you find out you can't eat like you used to, and you never were able to eat like that in the first place.
You know, I like that the album you picked is one you sort of discovered on your own out of nowhere. Did you say it was a graduation present for your brother?
My brother.
What a shitty friend that gives him
what a great friend.
I'm kidding.
I saw
like
a
bootleg
that guy.
though is your graduation.
Yeah. Well, I you know, because you get the good gifts from like your friend's parents or like your parent, your relatives and shit.
Yeah.
And I saw him over Thanksgiving this year, and I was like, oh, by the way, that tape you gave Matthew, it actually, I stole it and I listened to it forever, and he was like, really happy to have been able to help out like that.
That's so good.
Yeah, no, it was, just stumbled upon it in a way that, I mean, I don't even have a tape player anymore.
Yeah.
I wish I did.
Understandable. I mean,
because that would make playing from my iPod in my car easier.
Because
I can't do that now. Too many radio stations.
Did your parents have comedy albums sitting around? Was that a thing for you or no?
Not really. No, my parents had like a cabinet of albums that no one ever did anything with.
Okay.
You know, my parents were more Wheel of Fortune, Jeopardy, 7/7/30.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think, I can't even remember any times they would just listen to music.
Huh.
Because I mean, my dad, he worked from home part of the week, and he'd be working in New York the rest of the week, and he would be commuting from home, and he had a little TV on, just with noise to keep that going. And the same with my mom, like, she'd be home from work or whatever, cooking dinner, TV on in the kitchen, TV, it's just like, TV was their music.
Sure.
TV was their LPs, which I'm sure at some point they used to listen to, but then just, you fall out of it.
Of course.
Yeah, no, they weren't really. We would listen to the radio in the car, but a lot of times my mom would listen to sports talk radio, or like mix, you know, the best of the. I remember when it was best of the 60s, 70s, and today.
Yeah.
And then 60s, 70s, 80s, and today. But like, yeah, that type of stuff. Like, they weren't really. The Bengals, I remember we listened to the tape.
Nice.
Beach Boys, we listened to some Beach Boys tapes in the car.
Did you, what was the next stuff you listened to after listening to this album? What did you leap to?
Well...
And how did you know to leap? Did you have friends who were listening to comedy, or did you have to seek it out yourself?
Well, I kind of... There weren't too many leaps until... You know, I was just watching Comedy Central more, or... when the internet, like, once 99 came around, then I was able to find all this random comedy from Napster.
Yeah.
And just, like, that's how I found George Carlin, and that's how I found, I think that's the first I heard Rodney Dangerfield albums and things like that, and it's just able to find all these classic. I'd listen to the Celebrity Jeopardies, like they were designed for music, because I had by 2000 I had a CD player that could also play MP3s.
Of course. I remember that.
You burn the MP3s onto a data disc and then throw that in there. But yeah, I mean, where did I leap to next? I mean, I remember the next comedy album that I specifically went out and bought was the Crank Yankers album.
Oh, really?
I loved Crank Yankers. Maybe not the next, because there might have been Weird Al in between.
Okay,
you know?
Sure.
But I definitely listened to that Crank Yankers album a lot. I even, at one point, this might have been around 2001, I think I bought a CD called How to Be Funny. From Amazon.
Amazing.
But by that point, I was like trying to make I wrote my term paper about basketball and in English, in, you know, 11th grade or whatever, and just like about the theory of humor. Like by that point, I was just like a nerd about just the idea of humor in general. Yeah.
I always find it interesting as to which comedians break that stuff apart and which don't do it in the same way. Like I have no problem talking about comedy because I'm not afraid it's going to fall apart in my hands. Some people don't like to talk about it because they don't think it's funny anymore.
Right.
I'm not really worried about that. That's an OCD thing. I don't really give a shit. I think shit's still funny if it's funny.
Yeah.
But, you know, like, did you start trying to break that stuff apart early, or is it when you got a little bit older when you're like, oh, no, this means this, and it's just like, there's fucking math to it?
You know, it was later... And it was definitely, I mean, I remember watching Dat Fan on Last Comic Stand.
Yeah.
And he, to the nth degree, was like so specific about every movement, every word, everything. And he had I remember them showing these books of like all this stuff that he kept notes of. And charts. And just like... the craziness. It's insane. And you can, like, I make a YouTube video, I can go and look and I can see where people like watching and where people aren't watching. I try not to think about it. But it is interesting to kind of study and look into, as long as you're not then trying to apply that as a formula or something like that. But I took two humor classes in college. One was great and one was terrible. One was ancient humor, and it was in the classical studies department.
Interesting. Okay.
And it was a 200 level course that I took in my senior year, and it was 15% of your grade was telling a joke to the class.
Oh shit.
15% of your grade was writing a 2-page anecdote that you considered funny.
Okay.
15% was writing a response to someone else's anecdote about whether it was humorous or not from an academic standpoint.
Okay.
What was that? 15% was a 5-page essay. 5-page. About a topic which he had 36 topics. He gave you a specific one and gave you a beginning source to start at.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. I wrote it the night before. It's the only time I've gotten 100% on an essay, and that's only because I brought in a source from and then the rest was a multiple choice exam. And great prof, loved humor, loved his style. Rarely went to the lectures because they were at 8:30 on Friday morning, and that's crazy. That's just crazy talk. And there were some on Tuesday at 11 or something like that. But then I was able to take a source from my film humor course and say, oh, well, they haven't applied this thought over here. And I think he was like, wow.
That's awesome.
But the film humor course I took was taught by the experimental film professor.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Yep. Oh.
And what really sucked was by the time, because it was a 300 level course, and once you get to that point, it's a lot more about making presentations and seeing other people's, like, what other people consider humorous and them leading a class discussion based on what they're bringing in. I remember this one girl brought in, her brother ran some body modification website. And so she brought in, like testicles the size of grapefruit video of saline and just like sledgehammers on dicks and just like all this, and she talked about how that was humorous for they were considered it humorous, blah 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 blah. Fortunately, in that case, the professor was able to be like, no. Shortly after she finished, but mostly, like, we would watch, these weird Swedish movies, and we would watch, there was this one half hour, The Way Things Work is just like, it's just a Rube Goldberg that goes for like half an hour. Really cool. That's awesome. Film. Sure. You don't think about watching that in your film humor course.
No, you don't. No. That's funny.
Yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy to talk about and study the theory of comedy.
Sure. Yeah, but I think you've got a very good point. I think it's one reason why a lot of people who practice comedy don't like to, because they just psych themselves the fuck out.
Yeah.
And I get that. I understand that.
It just has to come down to, yes, this stuff works because of this reason, but at the same time, you can consider that a rule, and to the same way that Emo Phillips breaks so many rules 100%. Of stand-up.
He breaks every hip-hop
rule of hip-hop. All the rules of hip-hop are broken by Emo Phillips. He breaks every rule of stand-up, and it's great. Yeah. So, yeah, you can study it, and then you can break those rules
100%,
because you know what people are expecting. You know the rhythm that people feel, and that's why, like, movies like Airplane and things like that, it's able to take things and amplify it and really twist everything you're thinking. Or UHF.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Back to emo.
Yeah. I always like to ask people, if you're going to recommend this album to somebody who's never heard Emo Phillips, doesn't know anything about him, how can you condense why this would be an important album to listen to?
Well, this is an important album to listen to because...
you're starting at essay style.
No. Oh, sorry.
Many and varied reasons. I'm kidding. I'm just fucking with you.
I know you are. No, you're giving me time to think. No, you know why? It's because it'll make you laugh.
Yeah.
And if you like stand-up, then it will make you think about stand-up. Because you're going to be listening to it, and at first you probably won't like it. At first you're going to be like, why is he talking like this? And up and down and why should I? Blah, blah, blah. But it's a 40 minute listen, and it will 40 minutes and 40 seconds. Yeah. And you'll walk away happy and smiling, and then you'll know who Emo Phillips is, but you'll have no idea who Emo Phillips is.
That's true. All right, what do you have to plug? I want to make sure that people
can find you. What do I have to plug?
Yes, Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr.
At Jason Pickar on Twitter, JASONPICKAR. I almost said JSPICK. It doesn't. Jason Pickar, PICKAR. There's a C in there. There's no D. I'm not Jean-Luc, but I do have the same initials as him.
That's awesome.
You can also, if you want to add Cousin Roommates on YouTube, that's a new channel I've started with my roommate cousin, where we are doing comedy. You'll see a First Kiss parody up there that we did.
Nice.
We got up by the Saturday. It was like right on the cusp of timely, but I could only get the shoot together by Friday night. Also, you just Google my name, Jason Pickar. You'll find YouTube. You'll find Twitter. You'll find my advertising portfolio if you want to look at that for whatever reason. I write advertising for a living. If you want to pay me money to do that, you can.
Nice.
You can do that. Literally, oh my gosh. Two-Bit Waltz is a movie that's premiering at the Tribeca Film Festival. I had the pleasure of playing a rabbi in one scene. Absolutely no comedy for my part, but it is a comedy with Clara Mamet, written and directed by Clara Mamet, starring her, the kid from Moonrise Kingdom, and William H. Macy. So if you see Two-Bit Waltz around, you can see me play a rabbi for about 20 seconds. And you should see that movie, because if you let her know that you did it because of me, then maybe she'll cast me in her next one.
There you go. Love it. I mean, to be fair, that impressive beard would be hard.
Yes, it's a good thinking beard.
Good. Yep.
Oh, Chosen, Chozinn.
Of course.
Grabinrain.com, listen to the single.
Love it.
Album's going to be coming out soon. Just follow on Twitter, follow on Instagram. Same thing at Jason Pickar. Jesus, a lot of stuff to plug.
That's good, though. That's fine.
Yeah. The wrap-up. A friend of mine, we're recording tomorrow, the March wrap-up. It's video. Maybe you'll see it. I don't know where you'll find it. But it's a video where we rap about what happened in March. It's the March wrap-up.
Awesome.
It's going to be good.
I love it.
It's going to be really good.
Jason, thank you so much.
Thank you. This has been so fun.
I enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed your massive pizza slice.
It was a pretty good pizza slice. I'm glad we were able to really let everyone know about my eating habits. I wasn't planning on eating before I came here, but for whatever reason, I had to wait a little bit.
My fault.
I figured I'd pick up a slice of pizza. I didn't realize I'd be mocked for it.
This has been awesome, dude. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Oh my God, this is such a great show. Such a good idea for a show. This is wonderful.
Thank you. And everybody, thank you for listening, and obviously, have a good thing. Comedy on Vinyl is a production of Stolen Dress Entertainment. It is produced by Mike Warden and is hosted and edited by Jason Klamm. Our theme song was composed and performed by Richard Levinson. Please visit stolendress.com to listen to our other podcasts, read our blogs, read our tweets, watch our videos, and read our books. Please subscribe on iTunes, and if you like us, give us a 5-star rating and a nice review. You can find us on facebook.com/comedyonvinyl, Twitter @comedyonvinyl, and find everything else at comedyonvinyl.com.